Hello. So um, let's try and write a stack machine. If you don't know what a stack machine is, or you've not come across one before, it basically is like the uses the fourth language. It's basically last in, first out, and it has things called opcodes. So I could do cargo new stack YT because it's being done for YouTube, and NV is just my NeoVim shortcut. I've got a shortcut also set up in Vim to do allow unused. Uh, with all the codes. Right. So what we'll have is codes such as add, subtract, duplicate, push. First thing we'll do is we'll make an enum, which will be our actual opcodes. Codes. And as I say, we want op add, op sub, op. I'm just doing the really common ones. I'm not going to do kind of op hash. Once you start getting into hashing, then we would need to do strings, which would then just add an extra layer of complication. I'll keep this fairly simple. And two. Next, we'll make a struct called stack. Excuse me. And we'll have vals, and the values will be stored inside a vec, and the values inside the vec will be fa2. So next we want to actually do some logic for that stack, which will be impl. And the first thing we want to do is create a new stack. Once you've done a fair bit of Rust coding, you'll get familiar with kind of creating a new instance, effectively a new instance. So don't put anything in the parentheses, but you return self, where self is an instance of a stack. It's an instance of this, so it produces that. So you have to do self again, and then vals, then just do the vec macro, and I'll just put in 1, 2. I'm putting in 1, 2, and 3 because I'm going to do some op add, op sub. And when you do op add, if you had one at the bottom of the stack, 2 above it, if you did op add, it would pop to 2, pop to 1, add them together, and then you'd have nothing on your stack, and then you'd just return the number 3 back to the stack. So your stack would only have 3, so it'd only have 1 element. And then if you try to do an op sub straight after it, it wouldn't work. So I'm just gonna call this op, and that's going to work on itself. So not self, and go so far so good. Compiles. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass. So I want to pass in a vec of opcodes. So I just start thinking ahead of what I'm going to do in main. So I want to have let equal and then vec. And let's say we want to add. And before I do that, I'm just going to do a use opcodes colon asterisk. Then that allows me, just going to need to tell this what its type is. Right, that's happy. So I'm going to make a vec of the opcodes. So because I've on line 1 just above the red bit, you can see I've used the opcodes there. I don't need to keep doing that each time, so I can now do I'll add them. I just do sub, do one of each. Push, and then we'll just push something on right at the end. Push on 7, so that it really stands out. And then close that. Right. So in that vec, I've just done one of each from the enum. So here, in fact, I need to pass in I need to pass in the opcode. So I'm going to call it opcode, that an underscore, and then the type will be opcodes. So the type will be enum. Then I could start matching. So match opcode. So match what I pass in against the following pattern. And if we've got opcodes add, it'll do something. Sorry. Just going to fill out this just so we can see what we're aiming for. Push, which will take it's not happy with that, is it? Why is it not happy? Helps if you put that in there. So that needs to go there, like so. And then, right, now we are. Now we're okay. So op add and op sub dupe will only work if you've got more than one thing on the stack. So let's just deal with that to start with. If self.vals.length, so if the length of the vector is less than 2, we'll just print a message saying need two values. At least two values. Bags, don't need. Okay, right. So still for handling the op add, we want to take pop the top value, then pop the other top value, add them together, and then push them back. So let top equal self.vals.pop. And then we need to unwrap it really. Then we can do under top. I can't shadow them because I'm going to be subtracting one from the other. So I just need to then then we push, do self.push, sorry, self.vals because that's the vec dot push. Then we'll do top. We can add them either. They're can either add top to under top or vice versa. Is it associative or non-associative? I can't remember. There we go. And we could test this now. We could create let stack equal capital stack new, and then we'll do stack, so that's our instance of stack, the lowercase. Then we'll do stack dot op. Then we can just pass in, again, we can just pass in the name of the op code. Op add, because that's what we've just written. And stack, we need to make it mutable. And then we'll print values. So we've got, we'll ignore this line for now. So we've created an instance of the stack. We've just added the top two values, which would be 3 and 2, which we've popped those two off, added them together, that 5. So now the stack value should be 1, 5. Yep, 1, 5. All good. So all we'll do now is just repeat for sub, kind of a similar idea. Dupe, we'll need to, I don't know if I'm doing that, if I'll be doing that the best way. With dupe, I think I'll pop the top value, then I'll push it back twice. Now I don't know if I could just do take. I think take also. Yeah, we'll see. Right, next. So let's just do the sub. Copy these 3 lines. So 3, yank, yank. And then we'll say, we'll do the same again, really, but we're just going to yank. So we'll take the top and then the top, and then we'll do, we need to take the original top, and then subtract the under top. So the original, if we run this here, okay, we've got an error. What's that? I'm missing a red bracket or something. Okay, that's happy. Right, so if I so the stack up add was the 3 plus the 2, which gives us 5, and then we end up with 1 and a 5. So now if I do up sub, it should do 5 minus 1. So we should just end up with 4 on the stack. Yeah, it's coming along nicely. Hope this is making sense. I'm trying to do it at a fairly slow pace, but if you want to, if I'm too slow, then just watch it. Is it 1.25 speed? So if self dot vowels dot length is less than 2. Ah, um, we don't need 2 values. We need 1 value at least. Don't do else. So all of this is just one big pattern match. And obviously each time it gets called, you're passing in a different value. So it just filters, it bubbles down through these each time. And at top equals self vowels dot pop. Probably shouldn't be doing unwrap here. This is quite ugly, but um, should I pop that, or can I just how? Let's just do it. Push top. I'll work this out later. I'm just conscious, so I don't want to pause the video and so on. To dupe. So what did we have? We had 4 there before, so we should end up with 4, 4, shouldn't we? Yep. See that? I quit that a bit quick. 4, 4. Up sub, up dupe works, up push. Let's just do push, and then once that's ready, we'll remove these lines, and then we'll use that with a for loop, because this function is already ready to take up codes. In fact, that needs to be a variable, doesn't it? So input 32. Corresponding. So it already knows it's i32. That's better. This is quite straightforward, isn't it? It's self dot vowels dot push input. I think we're ready to do a for loop now. So if I uncomment this, so we know our answer should be 4, 4, 4, 4, 37. For item in, oh, I got a bit happy there with the deleting. Right, for item in deck of opcodes, and then we want to do stack dot op. item. If this works, we should get an array with 4, 4, 37. Yeah, there we go. So we've written a very basic stack. I call it a stack machine. This might not be the correct term for it, but forgive me. All we've done is we've created an enum with various codes, and then depending on which one of these choices we pass into this function, we then get a pattern match, and it does something depending on whether it receives an add, sub, dupe, or push. And those 4, I've just done one of each, but you could do them in, they don't have to be in that order. You could do more of one and none of the others. So you could just do what push, push, put back. Let's just do another push, op, push, 99. So then we should get 4, 4, 37, 99. Yeah, there we go. So a bit different to my normal videos, but I'm gradually learning more and more, and I'm still working my way through Dave McLeod's book. But I think it's a good mixture just to do tutorials and just write stuff yourself, especially where there's logic, because you can do so many tutorials where all the logic is handled for you, and you kind of get a bit rusty about thinking through the actual programming side of things. You're more focused on the code or the syntax, whereas really programming is solving problems with logic. Well, that's my thought anyway. So thank you for watching. If you want the code, I can put it in a GitHub gist, or I could even put it on my website, redandgreen.co.uk. And if you go there, you'll see loads of articles, Rust, Python, some Bitcoin programming type of stuff. And this is partly inspired by Bitcoin, and whether you think it's crypto or whatever your views on it, I know it creates strong views. But if you did want to learn a lot about computer science and software design, and you could do worse than look at Bitcoin. And I mean, it's written in C++ mainly, but many of the concepts, especially the cryptography, the stack machine, which this is inspired by. Yeah, it's an amazing amalgamation of different software concepts, all kind of fused together to some of the parts is way more than the individual pieces. But that's just my thoughts. If you disagree, that's fair enough. Thanks for watching, and good luck with your Rust code. I do try and check Discord maybe sometimes. I try and go on every few days, or at least once a week I'll try. So yeah, come on Discord. I've got about 15, 17 people now on there, and seems to be quite good. So yeah, it's probably a bit more informal and not so high pressure as some of the bigger Discord channels. So that's hopefully a good reason to hop on and share whatever you want, ask whatever you want. It's all good. Thanks for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and all that, because I do all these YouTube videos and I don't get anything for them. So if you want to help the channel, either give me a thumbs up or go on my Red and Green site and sign up for Webdock web hosting, which is Linux VPS hosted, amazing control panel hosted in Denmark or Norway, I think it is. Or ScrapeOps if you're into web scraping, that's a proxy. But yeah, I don't want to start getting into all the hard sells. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.